Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Agri-tech Founders Diary. Here we have conversation with amazing agripreneurs who are doing stuffs in the agri-tech industry. Today, as usual, we're having another amazing guest joining us all the way from Kenyan. He has been able to build an amazing agri-tech company in Kenya. It's called Agrotech Plus. So, but before we move on, guys, it has come to our notice that over 80% of people watching our videos does not really subscribe to our videos, and that really does not help us. I'm appealing to you guys that please and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the notification button to keep so you get notified whenever we are up or we are live like this. And don't forget to drop your comments, your likes, as that will give us a very good rate on YouTube, especially. Thank you very much all for joining us, and sorry for keeping you guys waiting. All right, thank you very much, sir, for joining us this evening. We are super excited to have you. But before we go, we want to begin with your story. I mean, where you grew up from. Take us back to where you grew up from, where it all started from. I mean, tell us everything about yourself.
Okay, thank you so much for having me here. I don't know if my connection is okay.
Yes, it's okay. Yes, it's okay.
Okay, just a minute. I get everything okay here.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate Kenneth.
Thank
Uh,
you.
my name is Elisha Caleb. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm the founder and the chief executive officer Agrotech Plus. Basically, Agrotech Plus, it's an agriculture technology company based here in Kenya. We
Yes.
provide solar-powered cooling systems that help our farmers in the off-grid areas in Kenya to maintain and extend the life of their harvest.
Mm.
We have Agrotech Plus was found on the year 2019, and we have been in this ecosystem from then up to now. We are working with a number of farmers with already solar-powered cold storages installed in different farm clusters and market clusters.
Mm.
So what our cold storage does, they extend the shelf life of the agricultural produce, that's vegetables and tomatoes from the usual 5 days to 10 days.
Mm. Great. So, guys, that's fantastic. So, Mr. Elijah runs an agro storage company, a cooling system in Kenya. They help smallholder farmers to store their produce. That's amazing. But we want to find out, sir, where did it all start from? Tell us how you grew up from, where you schooled. I mean, the schools you attended, when you, if it's in Kenya or any part of the world you grew up from. Let's take
Sure.
it up from there. Yes.
So thank you so much. Uh, Personally, I'm a village boy and
Mm-hmm.
grown in the rural area, raised by farmers, my mother and both of my parents. And the idea of my startup came from where I was raised. That's the reason I spend a lot of time on the ground talking to farmers, which I help to make identify their problem and the challenges to get a better understanding of their current situation and the challenges that they are undergoing, mostly on the post-harvest. And it came to my realization that farmers are suffering from crop loss, especially with perishable fruits and vegetables. They lose a large part of their annual harvest because they do not have suitable storage facilities which are solar powered. And at the same time, these our farmers lack knowledge on how to handle the post harvest stage of their agricultural produce.
Mm-hmm.
And this mainly due to the fact that most of our farmers are remote on the remote areas, like just like my mother. There is neither a power connection or no cooling. So the refrigerators, which are already on the market, are very expensive for these farmers, and at some point inaccessible. Because, for example, the cost of the solar-powered cold storage installation, it's more than 20,000 US dollars, which is expensive to our farmers who live on the standard of around two two thousand $2 per day. So these are some of the challenges that we are trying to solve as an organization. And by faith and by the strength that we have invested, we are greatly trying to tackle this. And we basically both know that food loss and food waste uh, covers or accounts for a very big percentage of the climate change because of the hazardous emissions that are removed as a result of uh, food that has gone to spoilage. Just to take you
Mm-hmm.
through, like in Kenya, we have around 40% of the food that is wasted, or 40 to 50% of food that is wasted throughout the entire food chain, according to the Brookings Institute that is in Kenya. And the statistics on 2017, approximately around 1.5 billion US dollars worth of food went to waste. And these figures for sure are increasing. And if we don't invest our energy to tackle this, this might be a very big pandemic as compared to other pandemics. And when we talk of a pandemic, this means that we'll be having food poverty and nutritional poverty. And lacking electricity or sufficient cold storage units for these smallholder farmers in our rural communities uh, is one of the triggers that are leading to the food or most of the food of our farmers going to waste. So I believe our solution is the game changer, and that it has come at the right time when our farmers mostly need it.
Mm.
Thank
Oh,
you.
good.
Sorry, I've lost you. Sorry, I can't hear you, Kenneth. Sorry? Hello? Hello?
Did you get the question?
Sorry, you are on mute.
Okay. So I was asking, I said, how what have been your biggest challenges so far and how did you navigate through?
Sorry, I don't know if I can hear you.
I said, what have been your biggest challenges? What have been your biggest challenges so far and how did you navigate through? How did you navigate through since you opened your company? What have been your biggest challenges so far?
Okay, thank you so much. There are plenty of challenges. Personally, I see clean tech and agri-tech as the hardest sector for a startup, mostly in
Okay,
Africa.
okay.
The products in clean tech are often used by a large amount of people, and the
Mm-hmm.
development of these products require many employees and a lot of investment. That is something very different if you compare in with mobile applications or digital platforms. In clean tech, you build an actual product, and your goal is to make people pay for this at the end of the day. And that's why one has to be ready and willing to share the idea, knowledge with others, go back to the ground, to the villages, and try to educate the farmers why they need this product, like our cold storage. However, there is also the problem of product counterfeiting, mostly getting wrong solar powered cold storages and wrong tools to invest in our farms. That's why the reason companies in energy field always have to keep develop their products day by day, and that's what we are struggling day by day to do. And another challenge is that here as Agrotech Plus, we are dealing with farmers who are in rural areas who have energy poverty, and to some extent they are hardly connected. So we have to go back to the rural areas to get these farmers, try to educate them to get to understand the advantage of using this package. That's why Agritech Plus, we have introduced an initiative which we call Teach One, Train One. This is an initiative whereby we try to train our farmers on the importance of the controlled post-harvest stage. And in the same time and in the same pace, we train these farmers on climate smart agriculture, on how they should handle their products, how they should prepare their farm. By doing this, we are trying to run away or to solve the challenge of farmers' illiteracy in our societies today. Uh, Per se, I can say also the financial investment that is required on the initial stages to invest in our farms is really high, but it's something that with our partnership that we have currently, it's something that we are trying to solve and to get lead of day by day. So that's why I always say for an entrepreneur, you for sure you really need to be ready to invest most of your energy, your time, and be ready to jungle through all these challenges to achieve the end goal. And the end goal is basically to impact our farmers. And we believe by the end of the day, we'll achieve that. Sorry, I can't hear you.
It's like you are mute.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, I said, have you been able to raise funds for your businesses, for your business? How did you raise funds for your business? You know, a lot of people that come on this show, they like their challenges has been funding, raising funds for their business was not easy. So, how have you been able to raise funds for your business so far?
First, I can say, as an entrepreneur, your focus should not be, or your biggest challenge should not be finance. And everything is possible as an entrepreneur. It's all about how you strategically position yourself and how ready are you to invest on your idea. Because an idea, it's something that is ready to solve two things. For Agrotech Plus, we have a sustainable business model whereby our farmers pay for a service. That's they pay for the cold storage. In this case, our farmers, we are trying to make our farmers not to buy the whole cold storage, but to pay for a service. So farmers get to access the solar powered cold storage through a shared economy, which reduce the cost of the accessing the valuable infrastructure, which is the cold storage. That's one. And also, Agrotech Plus runs its operations through projects on the farms, projects on the villages, projects on the market clusters. By doing that, I cannot say that we are still there yet, but we are striving day by day to see that we position. But our focus is to make sure that our business model is sustainable to sustain ourselves. Because at the end of the day, what we are looking for is to create impact, and not and impact should be on the farmers.
Great. So far, I want to ask, out of curiosity, I just want to find out. So far, how has it been with Agrotech Plus and the farmers? Are the farmers accepting your your services? Are they responding? How has been your response to your farming with the farmers? How has it been so far?
For sure, I can say our relationship with farmers is so good, and farmers really like or are really welcoming this valuable product at the cold storages. And the numbers are for sure increasing day by day. The demand is so high for this valuable product. So I yes, for sure. So farmers are ready to invest and are ready to use. Given that we have to train our farmers on the importance of this, and we envision a prosperous Africa where rural communities earn more, eliminate post-harvest losses, and sustain themselves. So that has always been our drive, and for sure we know that. We are yet to be there, but we are going to be there. And through our feasibility study, we validated what I've just said, that determine the ideal value chain and regions to start in and partner to kick off with this. So up to date, we are working with more than 3,000 smallholder farmers, and our key focus is on increasing the income of this smallholder farmer and reduce the agriculture strain on environment by eliminating this biggest problem, the post-harvest. Uh,
Mm,
since we know 80% of the produce in Kenya, or 50 to 80% of the produce in Kenya and most of the Africa countries grown by smallholder farmers, we are
yes.
focused to develop a business model that work for this targeted group, which are the smallholder farmers, women, and the youth.
Mm, I see. So far, what's been your most proudest moment as a founder? What's been your most proudest moment so far?
For sure, I can say my proudest moment has always been day by day. A day after day, when I wake up, I'm a proud man
Okay.
because we have always achieved our targets, and our
Oh,
target is to, and our
awesome.
target and our target has always been seeing or making sure that every farmer is smiling,
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that every solar powered cold storage that we install is reducing 90% or reversing 90% of food wastage.
Great.
By doing this, we are trying to both reverse the financial losses and carbon emissions in the farms of our farmers.
Great. Great. Awesome. Let me ask, what really inspired you to start Agritech Plus? What inspired you to go to start this company?
Ooh. So, as I said, that the idea came up from my village, having been
Okay.
raised in a village.
Yes.
I spent most of my time on the ground talking to farmers because I saw this problem. I've always been seeing these problems. My mother bringing tomatoes in the house, they get spoiled. Farmers get to invest in their farm, but their tomatoes get to spoil, their fruits, their vegetables. Some farmers get to transport the agricultural produces to the market, but they get to sit the whole day on the markets trying to sell the agricultural produce, but at the end of the day, they don't get market, resulting to sell their produces at a throwaway price, or sometimes they don't sell at all. So
Mm,
by interacting with these farmers, it helped me to identify what's their really problem and their greatest challenge. This basically to get the understanding of their current situation and how we can get to solve, or I can get to solve. It got to my realization that farmers are really suffering and are incurring a lot of crop losses, especially with perishable fruits, as I said, and they lost a lot of percentage of the agricultural produces. This triggered me, or this motivated me to start a solution that can uplift these our farmers from their poverty and their greatest challenge of food loss and food waste to getting a sustainable income. And also, here the solar powered units offer a climate sensitive alternative to diesel generators that are used in most of the rural areas, and catering specifically to the rural communities that may not be connected to electrical grids. So, for sure, I can say, and for the greatest milestones that we have made, I can say Agrotech Plus is a game changer, and we believe we'll be getting our figures right, and we'll be on the right track to solving this bigger problem. But for sure, what I can say and promise most of the farmers that we are working with, we are here to solve the biggest problem that they have been incurring.
Great. So let me ask, what's your vision for the next 5 years for your Agritech Plus? What's your next big vision for the next 5 years?
So, as I said, we envision an Africa whereby every farmer get the right get the right outcome or the right investment at the end of the day, whereby a farmer gets to sell the agricultural produces at the right price. And secondly, we are looking forward to an Africa or a Kenya whereby farmers or there is zero rate of food spoilage. And in the next 5 years, we are looking forward to install around 50 cold storages in Kenya and
Mm,
extend to other East African countries like Tanzania and Uganda.
great.
Because we know by doing this and having in mind that every solar cold room we set up is reducing up to 16.5 tons of carbon emission each month, we know our vision will be valid. And at the end of the day, we'll be able to curb climate change challenges to most of our farmers.
Mm, great.
Yes.
Great. Awesome. You're doing a very fantastic job in Kenya with your company, But I want to ask, what's so far as we begin to wrap up the show, I want to find out what's been your pain points. Like, what since you launched, what have been your pain points?
I think I answered that question. Those are some of the challenges that we have faced as an organization.
Yeah, yes. So, which of them hit you the most? Which of those challenges you mentioned, which of them hit you the most? That you felt pains and you felt like you know quitting.
Uh, at no point have I ever felt to quit from being a founder.
Great.
Neither have I ever felt to quit to be an entrepreneur because I
Okay.
know because I know being an entrepreneur is all about sacrifice, and
Mm-hmm.
this leads me to this point that being an entrepreneur is not an easy job, but it's all about being ready to serve the community. So, most of the challenges that we have had as an organization have been our stepping stones to the success. Every challenge that we get today, it's a success for us tomorrow. A challenge is an eye opener to us as an organization to plan better or to strategize as an organization for a better milestone or a better success tomorrow.
Great. Great. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. But as we begin to wrap up, lastly, I want to ask, what's your advice for others agritech founders or agritech startups who are coming to the industry? What's your advice for them as we begin to wrap up?
Sorry?
What's your advice for agritech startups coming to the industry or other agritech founders listening to us this evening? What's your advice to them?
My advice to the young founders
Yes.
is to tell them just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
At times, a start might look unattractive, but with greater efforts and uh, with a vision in mind where you want to reach,
Mhm.
there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So it's all about great investment. Great
Mhm.
investment doesn't mean in terms of finances. Investment is all about your time. What's in your heart can always be displayed with what you are doing day by day. So just go for it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for your time so far. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for sharing your experiences and lessons you've learned while you were building your company. It was an awesome time having you on the show this evening. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. We are grateful to have you this evening. Guys, I think it's
It
here
was
we're going to call it a wrap.
sure.
But before we go,
Sure.
I don't want to forget, I want to remind everyone of you, please subscribe to YouTube channel. We have big things to do, but we need to go. Subscribe to YouTube channel, hit the subscription buttons. Don't forget to hit the notification button as well. So you get notified whenever we are live. Drop your comments. Yes, I've been seeing a lot of comments coming in. Drop your comments, drop your like the video so we get good rates on YouTube. Thank you very much all for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure hosting you this evening, sir. Thank you very much. Is there we'll call it a night. Thank you all guys for listening to us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was an honor and privilege to be here.